Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're talking about a dinosaur that might just win the award for the most unexpectedly terrifying. If you thought that only meat eaters had razor-sharp claws, think again. We're diving into the strange and bizarre world of one of the most probably intimidating and undeniably unforgettable dinosaurs, Therizinosaurus. For those who saw Jurassic World Dominion a couple of years back, you know exactly who I'm talking about. It's this guy. So, first off, the name. Therizinosaurus is just as epic as the creature itself. It means scythe lizard. And once you see the claws, you'll see what I mean. These incredible creatures had humongous claws. There's some debate about what they used them for. They probably used them for a number of different functions. They lived around the Late Cretaceous, 70 million years ago. So like the previous dinosaur of the week, Stygimoloch, we talked about, it's one of the last dinosaurs that walked the earth before the big extinction event. This is what it would have looked like, something like this. Now the dinosaur in Jurassic World Dominion was definitely darker. It was a specific animal that showed that herbivores, just as much as carnivores, can be incredibly dangerous, even vicious. You can imagine walking through the woods or the jungles, the marshlands, in a dark, steamy, unnerving scene, and then this huge T-Rex sized animal comes lurking from the shadows, territorial and sinister. We don't know that all animals, Therizinosaurus animals, would have been like this, but it's a reasonable hypothesis that individuals would have been very dangerous, potentially, just like any animal. Therizinosaurus was found in the Nemet Formation of Mongolia, which during the Late Cretaceous was a semi-arid floodplain with rivers and lush forests. This means it shared its habitat with some truly iconic dinosaurs such as the fierce Tarbosaurus, a close cousin of T-Rex, and a number of massive sauropods, and also other close relatives like Dinosaurus. Now, Therizinosaurus belongs to a group called Therizinosauridae, which itself is part of the larger group of theropods. Now, usually, we say theropod, and you think T-Rex, Velociraptor. Now, they are usually big or scary meat-eating machines, right? Well, actually, Therizinosaurus throws a bit of a curveball in this group. The appearance of this animal, we're talking one of the strangest looking creatures in the dinosaur kingdom. It was large, bipedal, which means walked on two legs, and standing perhaps 10 to 12 feet tall at the hip, and possibly reaching 30 feet in length. That's very similar to T-Rex. T-Rex was about 40 feet in length. It's not that much different. There would be T-Rexes that would have come across this animal, subadults and juveniles, that would have been very intimidated. The most striking feature is its claws. On each hand, 3 colossal claws that could grow to 20 inches long. That's half a meter of pure keratin. Remember, keratin is the structure, protein structures, that our fingernails and our hairs and scales are all made of. And they would have been thin, curved, and incredibly sharp, like giant elongated blades. Now here's the kicker. Despite being a theropod and having these massive claws, you'd assume it was a carnivore, but it's not. It's a herbivore. Yes, a plant eater. This animal was a plant eater. What were they using these claws for then? Scientists believe that they would have been used for pulling down trees, for grabbing branches and raking the leaves off, or perhaps defense, to defend themselves against other large animals like Therizinosaurus. Some people even believe that they would have been used to dig out termites from termite mounds. These are all reasonable hypotheses, and actually, all of them probably happened if you think there were many, many thousands of these animals at one point in a successful ecosystem. That's how science works. You come up with an hypothesis, and due to the laws of probability, it will have happened. So the animal in question most likely had feathers. There's actually evidence from closely related species that it will have had feathers based on its group. Not just a little bit of fuzz, but a full coating of downy feathers, like in Jurassic World Dominion. A relatively accurate depiction. Now, for many of you, your first introduction to this animal was probably in Jurassic World Dominion. And honestly, the movie did a fantastic job of bringing this creature to life. This huge biped, massive curved claws, covered in feathers. It's truly a unique creature design here, in that it's very accurate for the most part. Its size, its biomechanics are fairly well represented. Some aspects are exaggerated for films. Now, most of the Jurassic films, when they depict a dinosaur, they tend to make their skulls a lot more rounded, almost like snouts. Now, actually, what Therizinosaurus would have had is closer to a beak. Technically, they have depicted that, but there's an argument by the filmmakers that if you have an animal being depicted, a dinosaur, it's better for the depiction in the camera. You see the face more if it's got a wider snout. Thankfully, there's a lot of pressure from paleontologists, from fans, to see more accurate creatures, and we are seeing that. There should be a balance, in my opinion, in the films, but I absolutely think that this is one of the best attempts at making a Jurassic version of this animal. So, in Dominion, the Therizinosaurus is portrayed as an incredibly dangerous presence within the Biosyn Valley. In one of the film's probably most memorable and intense moments. Let's take a look. Now, the movie also portrays this animal as being incredibly formidable in combat. Primarily, its scene in combat is near the end of Jurassic World Dominion. The visual representation, the long sweeping movements of its arms, its overall presence, really hammered home by the fact that this is a very unique herbivore that commands respect. And it's a definite fan highlight. It's a real oddity. Now, to conclude, the Therizinosaurus, a feathered plant eater with long, sharp claws like a carnivore, breaks all the rules. It's a fascinating individual within the dinosaur family. Paleontologists and fans alike recognise this, and its appearance within the Jurassic franchise has cemented it as a truly iconic and visually striking dinosaur for a new generation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the scythe lizard, please smash the like button, give us a follow, and I'll see you next time. Take care.